If you're looking for the lightest weight mouse that doesn't cut any corners and gives you everything you need, boy, have I got the mouse for you. So this is from the Glorious PC Gaming Race. This is the Model O. O meaning that it's mostly just open air, I don't know. As you can see here, it is just full of holes. Look at all those hexagons. So this is a sort of a honeycomb pattern all over the mouse, cutting out as much plastic as possible to give you an extremely lightweight gaming mouse. I think Rocket Jump Ninja kind of started this trend of making mice lighter and lighter. You know, there's some objective truth to this, that a lighter mouse is easier to move around and therefore makes you more agile, quicker. If you want to do flicks and stuff like that, you're not going to have to worry as much. So this mouse is 67 grams in a matte finish. You can get it in a glossy finish at 68 grams. That's the glossy over here. If you like all those fingerprints and that piano black finish, you can go for that. You get it in black or white. And this is not really going to be a story about the performance and the specifications because they got all that right. They checked all the boxes, right? You got the 3360 sensor in here, and the DPIs that come out of the box are 400, 800, 1600, 3200. The sensor can go higher than that. I mean, you never really need to, unless you're using a console and one of those type of adapters or whatever for your PS4, Xbox. I know those like super high DPI. It's probably not going to work out that well for that. If you guys want to change the DPI settings, you can go in and do that with software. But as it stands with the Glorious Model O, you don't really need software all that much to do just about anything. And they kind of took an idea that we started first with our Syndicate gaming mice. This is our original prototype from way back when. They allow you to hold down different button combinations on the mouse to change the RGB separate or independently of the DPI settings. And they've done something that's one step farther than what we did on our Syndicate mice. They've actually given you a DPI LED on the bottom of the mouse so you can always know what DPI you're on. It's yellow, blue, red, and green for 400, 800, 1600, and 3200. Otherwise, it's a 6-button mouse. You have one button in the middle for DPI, so you can't cycle up and down quickly. You're going to have to tap the button on the mouse, repeatedly to go through all of the different settings. The polling rate's 1000 hertz. So there you go, it's 1 millisecond basically. And we have on-RON switches rated for 20 million clicks here on the top of the mouse. Scroll wheel feels normal, nothing too fancy. You can depress the scroll wheel, that's another click. You have your left and right, and then you have 2 thumb buttons that are nice and out of the way, but they're also convenient for most people. Works for a palm grip, okay. I like somewhere in between palm or claw for this. It's not a huge mouse, not a small mouse. All right, so it's the 3360 sensor, so you're not gonna have to worry about spin out. You can even do the stupid desk clapping stuff that I've only seen like maybe one Counter-Strike guy do, then rage quit when he died. But if you're someone who thinks you need a mouse that can zip around super fast, that's totally fine. Put it on 400, get a desk mat this big, and just flail around to your heart's content. All right, now I want to talk about the weight of this mouse because it's 67 to 68 grams. It is extremely lightweight. We've seen other mice like the Final Mouse and just all these other mice companies that are trying to build mice like this that are very lightweight, but they're usually going for around 90 grams to 100 grams. I typically like my mouse in the 100 to 120 gram range, which is just like, how could you ever game on that? Well, I understand that not all you guys have big Chad arms like this. I understand that you're all not toe up from the flow up, and that's okay. You don't have to be as swole and jacked as me. You can get one of these. But for me, this is almost too lightweight. It feels like I'm not holding anything. When I'm moving around in windows and that sort of thing, every time I pick it up, it's been a learning curve every time I've gone from this mouse to another mouse. Now, if I sit here for a little while and play a bit, it's fine. In games, I noticed almost no difference between this mouse and my other mouse, and as far as performance goes. I'm not Fatality, I'm not Rocket Jump Ninja, so I'm not that good anyway at a lot of Twitch-based shooters. But I didn't immediately notice that it improved my performance in game. I'm sure some of you guys are going to jump in the comments and yell and scream, and it's the internet, and that's what this is for, so by all means, go nuts. All right, so let's talk about this cable as well. It's an ultra flexible cable, and it's kind of like a baggy pair of jeans. You can feel the cabling in the middle there, and then we have this sleeve. It's a kind of a thicker, extremely lightweight braided sleeve. It's 2 meters or 6.5 feet. It's bigger and thicker than on our Syndicate mouse. I went for just a standard rubber cable or a solid rubber cable, but it doesn't actually feel heavier. That's the interesting thing. with this, it feels very lightweight. They've used a different type of material than what you would see on a lot of the braided cables out there. It still feels really light and all that sort of thing, and I think that it's a pretty good compromise for quality. If you want that braided cable look, but you also want something that can move around quickly. I'm sure you guys could also get one of the little desk stands they make and put your mouse on that so the cable's held up here so you're not having to worry about it getting caught on anything in your desk. I still generally shy away from braided cables, but this is something that's mostly subjective. Just like I think weight is mostly subjective. Why do you guys want a super lightweight mouse with a braided cable? I want a medium weight mouse with a rubber cable. So that's just how it goes. Comes with a couple of glorious stickers so you can be elite and all that business. All right, let me just tell you some of the things that it can do. With button combinations on the mouse, just holding down different buttons like the DPI button and the right or the front and back button over here on the side, or sometimes the left and right button, or even the middle mouse button. You can change the brightness levels. You can change the lighting effects from, they call it glorious mode, which is just kind of like craziness. You can do breathing, seamless breathing, where it breathes from one color to the other. Single color, breathing with a single color. You can do the tails, rave mode, wave, or you can just turn the LED off. And then you have seven different colors to choose from, which are red, blue, green, pink, yellow, cyan, and white. No purple, but the pink is kind of close, so that's what you're going to get. You got to have purple, guys. Come on, give me purple. You can go into the software and really customize this thing if you want, but if you don't want to install the software, that's what you've got. And it's really nice that you can do all that right on the mouse and then just go from place to place and plug it in. It really does feel like there's like nothing in my hand. It's so freaking weird. It's ridiculously lightweight. If you want something that like you don't even feel like it doesn't even, like every time you want to move, there's no inertia or anything like that. It just goes wherever your hand goes. This is going to be a mouse that you really should take a look at. If you want something that's a little more substantial, that when you move it, it actually requires some force, then you might want to look at something a little bit heavier than this. Like I said, it's, in my opinion, too light for my style and for my giant swole arms. I just feel like I'm going to throw it across the room. You know, you ever picked up something you thought was empty and or you thought was full and it's empty and you almost throw it? I feel like that almost every time I touch this mouse. So it's going to be a little bit of a learning curve for me, but all in all, its performance is perfect, basically. And if you're looking for the lightest weight mouse with a lot of cool features on the mouse and a lot of really good performance, then the glorious Model O is probably going to be your mouse. It's on back order, so keep checking their website. And let us know what you think of the video. Also, be sure to grab a t-shirt over at epicpants.com. Got some new ones coming back soon. So we'll see you guys on the forum.